Hey guys, Beth Murphy here. I want to share with you a couple things about depression that I think are very, very important. As you know, we're feeling types, so we feel things. We don't get to just walk around and punch a clock and, enjoy a little bit here and there. We're deep. We notice, we see everything, we feel everything. And I'm not sorry about that. I think it's a tough way to live, but it's the only way I would want to live. That's who I am, and I embrace it. But it does mean we have to kind of look after ourselves a little bit. And this is why I have this channel, so we can look after each other. So let me tell you what I've learned. Two most important things in regards to your feelings when you don't feel as well as you think you could. I don't really like labels. I don't like the word depression. You just don't feel good. You don't feel as good as you would like to feel. You don't have to make more of it than it is. But I do want to point out a couple things that I can feel will help you. Depression, the biggest problem with depression is that if it's unconscious, all right, this is the only time it's going to get you in trouble. Right? Because you can't change what you don't recognize. It's not that you don't even acknowledge it. You're not even understanding that it's not supposed to be there. You may have come from a family where people are moping around. So that person would not know that they have depression. You may unfortunately have a lower self-worth due to any number of circumstances that could have happened in your childhood. It could be from where you grew up, who you grew up with, and you just have like kind of, or you were taught that your feelings didn't matter, or your parents were too busy. That child is not going to have the same self-worth as someone that came from a evolved, self-aware, loving family that extended that to their children. All right. Now that's fine, because I think that's actually the rarity. So please don't feel bad if you are recognizing something. I didn't have the greatest childhood. I feel like that was my personal path, and it made me who I am, and I do like that. All right. But the topic is depression. So as I was saying, the most important thing is to recognize depression. First, you have to recognize it. And this is not going to be very long, so hang in there. Recognize the depression. And how do you do that? Well, start noticing when you're not in a great mood. Part of that will be loving and caring for yourself. When you believe that you're entitled to love, to love yourself, that you have self-worth, when you start that magical process, you're going to notice more when you're not in a good mood, because the bad mood has become unacceptable to you, and that's wonderful. Good for you. You'll begin to know your mood. You'll begin to even notice, this will help too, if you check in with your body, because your mood is also your body's registering that too. It might be something in your stomach, like a knot. It might be frustration or even anger, where your muscles are tense and so forth. But something's not going right in you, and your body knows it because of the thoughts that you're thinking, and then these physical things happen. So you recognize it, and then you're bringing it up to the light. You're bringing it up to the light. Shine a light on it. INFJs, you need this. Okay? So first you have to recognize, then you have to care enough to start noticing. Check in with yourself all the time. Be your own best friend. Be a good parent to the child within. Check in. How are you today? How are you feeling? Hey, why is our stomach in knots? What just happened to kind of create that? What did I just go through? What was I witnessing? What was I thinking about? When you start to apply these questions, it's just going to naturally bubble up. Now, when it does bubble up to the surface, that thing that's bugging you, because when it's unconscious, it's just depression. It's kind of underlying. It's like just this thief that's inside of you, kind of draining your energy, and it's kind of chronic. It can be kind of chronic, you know. You have these unconscious beliefs and thoughts that are upsetting you. So when we get them out, INFJs need to put them outside of themselves, okay? So now this depression advice is really for everyone, but here's where you come in. INFJs. Here it is. Get it out. Okay, you get it out. Now, I just ran myself through the paces, and I just did this for myself because I'm an INFJ. Stuff bugs me. I feel frustrated. That's kind of how it manifests now. Because I've improved my entire life for so long, I kind of live in an upper content zone where I used to, when in my younger days, I used to be depressed was more the norm. But so now when I feel the unwellness, the unhappiness, it's kind of manifests as frustration. I don't really get that low, you know, thank goodness. But that's why I'm here. I'm talking because I've done things that worked for me. So as an INFJ, you're going to want to get your emotion out. It's energy. Maybe you've seen this before. Energy. Emotion. You need to get it out. How do you do that? You use your INFJ-ness. You create. Creating is very important to us. And now we create in different ways. Some of us create with words. Some of us create with video. Some of us create with paint, with music. You understand what I'm saying. And you need to get it out of you, and then it will appear different. You will be an observer of your own thoughts, and it takes it into this other level where you can actually manage what's bugging you. Now, here's a little trick that I do. I have INFJ friends that are feeling like me. I mean, literally like feeling types. I don't run to them with my drama. All right? That serves two purposes. If you think of unwellness or negativity or sadness or depression, if you think of it like a cold, what do you do when you have a cold? Stay away from everybody. I know that's counter to what mainstream will tell you, but I feel that we are different in our feelings, and we have to act a little different. I don't think if you're in a bad mood, the first thing you should do is put it on your Facebook and spread it all over your Instagram or whatever. And I don't feel you should shout it from the rooftops, because you're going to get that echo back, and you don't need that, especially because you're empathic. You're feeling type. You don't need the memory of just creating this drama with this person. So chill out for a little while, get it out on paper, is a great way to do it. If you get it out on paper, half an hour later, come back to it, you're probably going to start to not relate to it already in some degree. Even if it's like 10%, you don't relate to that anymore. That sad person that wrote that the half an hour before. It will look different from that new vantage point after having got it out. Okay, so that's one thing I do. I don't run to my feeling friends. I will pick a friend that's a sounding board, and someone I actually don't pick an NF. I don't pick an NF if they know me. I'll just pick somebody that I'm kind of cool with, somebody that's my friend, and I'll just kind of say, hey, this is going on or whatever. If I were to pick an INFJ, I would pick one that I don't know that well, because I know they're not going to get emotionally involved with me. And that's what I did today. I actually had an issue. It was really bugging me. And I wrote one of my mentors, and an INFJ. I haven't met him personally, but you find people online like you guys. You have written to me. So I feel like he would kind of get my issue. But see, we're not personal. We don't have a personal relationship, so we're not going to see each other next week. I don't want that drama between us because we're so feeling. I mean, I'm psychic with my INFJ friends. So I'm just careful to not put my negativity somewhere where I'm going to see it later. Like a cold. I don't run out with a cold and sneeze on my friend. I know it's not popular, but it works for me. And because you're a feeling type and empathetic type, I think it would work for you too. It's how I deal with things. I have things that really bother me in the world sometimes. And I have my own personal frustrations with how much should I try? How much should I share with others when there's a lot of ignorance in the world, and then sometimes it feels like it falls on deaf ears. So I have, real issues that strike me, same as you guys. We all have our dark moments. So that's how I deal with it. Get it out. For me, it was writing. I wrote a note, and then I took a minute, and then I'll usually read it again to make sure I didn't overshare or say anything that I'm going to regret later. And that's my out. You might paint it or whatever. You might even karate chop it. Get it out, and then revisit yourself later, and you'll find that you feel a little better because you moved that energy. And then, as I said, now I'm particular about who I'll tell, because I don't want it to face me again when I feel better, which I'm going to feel better in like an hour. All right. But that's it. So yeah. Now that I wrote my note to someone that's not close to me, but he is an INFJ. Now I can actually discuss this with my close INFJ friends, because I'm not so emotional. And now I know I'm not going to bring down my friend. I'm not going to have any guilt about my emotional friend. I won't sneeze on her. All right. I hope that makes sense. That was only under 14 minutes, but I feel like I talk for half an hour sometimes. All right, guys, listen, I need feedback if you care and you're listening. It's not about money. It's not about anything other than YouTube, the algorithms. Did I said that right? They don't show your video if people don't watch it or comment. And also for me, that's part of my frustration in the world is, if I talk, will anyone care? You know what I mean? So just give me some love if you have it. If not, please don't hurt my feelings. I can't take it. No, I would probably still talk anyway, because enough of you have been kind. But so that's that today. If you're wondering what I was thinking about, it was the gun issue, because in America, I can see what the problems are, and it's frustrating to me. And then we have had incidents even in my state where little children get hurt, and I don't mourn about it. I do believe in everything in its perfection, but sometimes the ignorance is a bit much for me. Maybe for you too. And I don't know really what to do with it all the time. And when this is one of my outlets. So thanks for being here. If you stuck it out, talk to you next time. I'm inspired. Bye.